TizzleTalkTV, come talk with me, man. Hey, say, ain't no day like another day. Come in, it's your boy, Tizzle. Talk to me. Hey, man, say, man, what a great day to be alive, man. Hey, I'm here today with somebody that's real dear to me. Somebody been like a father figure to me, man. Just a humble guy. Who we got here on TizzleTalkTV today, man?
Hey, I'm hanging out with TizzleTalk. Hey, KE Phillips, man.
Hey, man, I got my bishop with me today, man. I just wanted to sit down and get to know him with y'all a little couple things I ain't know. Y'all gonna get to know. I'm gonna get to know for the first time. Get in a little dialogue. Yeah. So we'll start out. How your day been today?
Man, it's been a rough one.
Rough
and long.
yeah.
It's been a rough and long. But hey, ain't no day like another day.
Talk to me. Hey, man. So look, we'll start out like this. So you know, you my bishop. It's been a long time since I don't know the years. So, but it's been a minute. So I want to ask you so when did you kind of find your calling? Like you knew that was something on your life, like to be a pastor.
Well, first I'll say that I mean, coming up in a family that was rooted and grounded in the church, I didn't have I had no option.
Yeah.
I don't think I really had a choice. I came up from a very strict religious background, Colgate. I got a Colgate background, and you know, it was kind of church. Really, the truth is, man, I ain't want no part of it. Mm. That was my whole. But I can remember as a little boy, I would be the one if we was ever 5 of us and we was out playing. If we was ever playing, I would always be the one with the mic, leading the service, and everybody else was following my order. So I would say, man, at a very early age, I realized, or I started realizing that that it was a call on my life.
So you started preaching early?
I started preaching, I would say it was back 1989 is when so you got to think young, because I really wanted to run away from this. Like, you can tell when there's that mantle and mandate on you, and there's this, that is something different about you. And so you got to think, I really wanted to shy away from it. So I didn't fully accept until about 1989.
You were acting like Jonah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm going to, well, let me see. I supposed to have been going to Nineveh, but I'm going to Tasha because I ain't trying to roll like this, bro. I ain't trying to roll like this.
So you said you came from like a background of that, like when you say that, like,
yeah, my daddy was a preacher, his daddy was a preacher, all his brothers was preachers.
Yeah, you supposed to be the preacher.
Don't do that. Well, it could have fell on. I'm not the oldest, so it could have fell on the oldest, right? Yeah, I'm not the oldest. Yeah, all
y'all not preachers?
No.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Hey, okay. So, so what's one of the, like, what you mostly like enjoy about ministry? What you enjoy about just being in ministry?
Man, one of the things that's so rewarding for me is seeing people's lives change. Right? I'm able to tell my story because while I'm sitting here today, and my story comes from not where I'm now, but the stuff I had to go through, and to be able to connect, not just with a Bible, right? Because the reality is, you know, I have a conversation with somebody today. They really want to hear that, right? Mm-hmm. Can you relate to me? And my story is not. it ain't a story full of positivity, right? But it's that negativity, and then when you see it, you're able to relate and connect and see people's lives change as a result of your transparency and truth. Yeah,
man, it's something like people really like. How can I say it? They already hold church people to like a big standard, and they definitely hold pastors and bishops to big standards. And like, man, me kind of being like churchy, streety, I respect like how, I've been there with you for a long time. So like the transparency, like I respect like a person I can see go through something and now they a better person, like a real example, and like you can tell me something and I can take that like, well, I know he done been through that. I can't take nothing somebody telling me that ain't never been through nothing, what they trying to tell me how to come out of something, and you ain't been through it. So it's like I don't understand why people kind of like, talk down or look down on people sometimes when they in that position. You know what I'm saying? But
well, I think there should be a standard. And I'll just be honest and transparent since you got me in this conversation today. I'll just be honest and transparent. There should be a standard, right? And there are times that I did not fulfill the standard, right, of the call that was on my life. But the getting to that place of maturity that now I can use those. And here's what I call it. I call it failing forward. So I kept failing, but I kept moving forward. I kept failing, but I kept moving forward. So it's almost like I always say, we always talk about we're going to finish, but the problem is some of us stop. So when we have those moments of failure, we just stop. We don't finish. But as we keep failing forward, here we go. We finish. We fail forward. We finish. We fail forward. We finish. And then it gives validation to our narrative. It gives validation to our story. So when I'm able to talk to Tay, it's because I failed in an area that he failed in. Is that making any sense? Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't say that, I'm in a position now that I try to make sure that my life holds the standard, but I don't forget how I got to this place. One of the things I said is everybody say they grown, but grown is just an age. What make you grown is maturity. So as you start to mature, you make better decisions, and those better decisions help you to raise your standard. So I don't forget. I'm grateful for the standard that I've raised, but I'm not also grateful for the times I fell forward as well.
Hey, I'm telling you. Hold on, let me go to the question. Did I ask you what motivates you as a pastor?
Yeah, and I just let's elaborate a little bit more. That's seeing the man, especially at this point in ministry, man. It's so refreshing to see lives changing. Man, I'm sitting here with you. I'm sitting here with you, Doc. I'm about to well up. I'm sitting here with you because we've had some conversations, but it would. You said you put me out here, huh? we ain't going off now. We've had some conversations. When I think about the years, we've had some conversations. So when you see lives changing, people are walking into their purpose, understanding their purpose, and then fulfilling their purpose. That's the rewarding part. That's rewarding. Yeah. And if it ain't but one, he said that he rejoiced over one sheep. That's fine, right? Yeah.
My phone out. So being that, like, I'm gonna ask you this: do you feel like? So of course times have shifted, like, it's totally different right now.
Totally.
So I'm gonna break the question up. Do you feel like you've been changing with that pretty good, or how you feel about that?
So basically, have I been evolving with the changes or with the times? And I think we are adapting to it. I think we're still evolving. Even where we are right now, the conversation, church as a whole has evolved. Only I will only say that the problem that I struggle with, right, and it's my own struggle, that I think that the platforms that's been established, or our ability to use the platform for the advancing of the gospel, I think it's also become a crutch in many cases. It's made people become more comfortable when it comes, and that's the part of me that I internally struggle with, accepting and embracing that while the platform is here for the advancement, it's become a crutch where most people have become more comfortable versus building relationships or having social interactive. We mainly having that interaction through social media than that personal interaction. And that's been the struggle. But the involving part, I think we are advancing. I think that we've pretty much adapted, still learning, always trying to carry it to a spirit of excellency. But again, I think COVID put us all in a place, caught us all off guard, where we wasn't properly prepared, right? And for those that wasn't, we had to advance forward, and we had to do it relatively quickly. Yeah.
You think what you think something like? What you think is something that can bring like my generation of
what we doing right now? Without a doubt, man. Each one reach one, and I believe that there's a raising. Again, man, I come from the church where you didn't get to say much. You said when they told you to say, right? And they muffled what you said. So it was about one person. It wasn't the diversity within the ministry and the inclusion of everybody, right? Even in the youth ministry, you had a youth leader, but they were older than my mama. Like, and this is no discredit, but they couldn't relate. And they had this rhythm and routine. You're gonna do this, and this. By far, I think this is how when you think about where you were, you can relate. Yeah. You can connect. Listen, man, I'm rolling with my son Sunday after service. We pull out, and when we get up the road, he said, "Hey, Dad, you need to let Tay talk or preach a little bit more." Now, in an older mindset would have eventually automatically got offended by that. Mm. And he said, "Because I can relate to him." I just asked the next question. The next question was, "You can't relate to me?" And it went something like this. Sometime I can relate to you, but I could relate to Tay because he's on our level. So one of the ways that we can draw this next generation is it has to be more consistent, because the problem is we start something, but we don't finish it. We stop, right? We get irritated. We stop. Things don't go our way, we stop. So we don't finish. So we don't never know what the full result of it could be and the impact we could have, or we stop because what you said on Sunday, we get all these distractions, right? Yeah. The distractions of social media, the distractions of being competitive, the distractions of competing with somebody on social media, instead of just staying focused on what we've been called to do. When we do that well, we will reach my son, his son, and those that come. We're going off the scene. Our voices carry a weight, but y'all voices is carrying weights as well.
Yeah, I got to get on Zai about that.
No, we'll get on them for what?
Well, you going to have me preaching in 2 times a week. Man, I'm good preaching. I'm going to have to talk to Zai about that.
But I heard him. I heard him loud and clear.
And it made me feel real good, too, man. Yeah. It made me feel
for the preacher's son. the pastor's son.
It made me feel real
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It made me feel good to know that he was listening. Right?
Yeah.
And that I can already see. Oh. I can already see that he's looking at you as a mentor. I can already see that. And that's valuable. One man plant, another man water, God give the increase. And sometimes we can't reach the next generation because we're trying to plant, water, and give increase. It's just my job, could be just my job to plant. It could be just my job to water. I can't do the planting and the watering. And sometimes as parents, we think that's what we're supposed. I'm the plant. You do what I say. What you mean? Say preach. And you listen. I preach all the time. I live here. You ain't listening to nothing I say. Why you listening to tape? You see that kind of stuff drive him away where he want nothing to do with the church. And his daddy is a pastor. And I'll be honest, I probably put some of my other children away, mimicking and marking my style of upbringing, right? I probably drove them away from that because you got to balance that, right? While you're a pastor, your father first. And sometimes found it kind of difficult to, or we use the pastoring to cover up our inability to be a good father.
I was just going to ask you that, like, so how is it like balancing ministry with family?
I'm better.
In the job and everything.
I'm better. Thank God I work so I can say what I want to say. That's the first thing. I appreciate that. I ain't living off the church. I ain't living from the church. I'm living for the church. And that's the first thing I can, make sure you put that out there live. Don't take this part out.
I can attest to that. I can attest to that, man.
Yeah. But the balancing of the family and ministry, man, that can be, I think I'm getting better. Mm-hmm. Much better than because you were real young at that time, but it was almost like it was church. I struggled with, and I don't know, Tay, if I struggled with that because of some disconnections in my own, but it was like, hey, we got to be at church, and I think what I was doing more of is just kind of dragging, not having any balance for myself. So when you think about building marriage, when you think about that's family, when you think about marketplace, that's building, and then you think about ministry, and all three of those can get messy. They can get messy if you don't put some balance in. And I think in each one of those, I can tell you about some mess I can tell you about some mess I created. And it was so messy it started smelling. And folks were like, what that boy smell like? Oh, you know I don't say poo-poo now. I said it really. Okay, you come on. You want me to be real?
No, yeah.
We say what? Poo-poo. What's that? That's the other. That's 2-year-old word. That ain't what I say.
You crazy, man.
But it was that whatever you call it. It was that poo-poo that really gave fertilization and allowed me to grow in marriage and grow in ministry and grow in the marketplace and be able to balance. Now I'm gonna be honest. I'm still balancing it. I'm still trying to balance the family because sometimes I find myself, even from marketplace, I find myself coming home, going straight to the office and spending hours in the office. And then when you come to lead and you want to make sure that you're giving the right, I don't have to worry about it no more though, because you're going to take every second and fourth Sunday.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Zai, when you sleep, what? That's what I'm talking about right now, man.
The more I can give, the more I can give to the other leaders, the less time I can just keep building. And
I feel I gotta be obedient too. So you got me. You got me if you do it to me. Man, so okay, being a leader, majority, I think I would say like the majority of the people that's in church are women. You would think. Mm-hmm. You would say that, you agree? Mm-hmm. How is it leading all these women personalities and emotions and
Well, I don't think it's just women with the personalities. It's men as well. With the all of us got our own personality, and what you never want to do is change the personality of a person, right? Because God created us all to be different, and if He wanted us to be the same, He would have created us that way. When we cannot embrace the difference of each other, we create differences with each other. And as a leader, I think it's important for me to understand the difference of each of those that I've been called to lead. And I do that in the marketplace as well. I don't have a one size fit all. I used to, right? I'm just trying to get the results, trying to get the end goal. But I've learned I lead more with what I call situational leadership, meeting people where they are, right? Kind of here's where they are and I meet them. So when you think about the personalities of how as you mature, you make better decisions around it. And you don't see it as, you see it as more so, how do I help them to master or to master those emotions that could be leading and guiding in the wrong direction. With men, we're a little bit more tougher, right? We don't, and when you do find us that, I think it's not to share an emotion is an emotion, all right? To try to be hard, I think that is an emotion that sometimes could be a barrier to be able to help somebody. Because if we close ourselves off, like if I close myself off, you'll never be able to reach that or see that part of me. And when you do, sometimes it's a little bit too late. And you know, my prayer is that 80% of CAM will be led by men. And hey, we're seeing that growth start to happen now. We're seeing that God's starting to do that now. And I believe he done it at the time that was right for Cam. Not so much just right for Cam, was right for me as a leader, right? My time, not his time. His time. So I wanted it years ago. God said, no, we're going to do it in the time because now you're mature enough, right? Because God flooded me with men, right? And then I can't relate to them. Yeah. Now you close. Got a bunch of men sitting in church, still some starch. Right? Still starch and they ain't got nothing to say. No. I'm fortunate to be leading the ministry where every male have their own unique personality, but it's rounded for the house. It's rounded for the house, and it's not catered to the bishop. It's not catered to the bishop. It's rounded for the house. It's rounded so anybody can connect with anybody and learn something from them if they just
spend their time.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a conversation with me. Yeah.
I'm gonna take this little second right here. Cam, y'all hear saying Cam, that is Kingdom Advancement Ministries in Sandersville, Georgia. What's the address?
This dude just wrote. This dude 806.
806 Jordan Mill Road, man. Yeah, hey, this wrong.
This dude just rolled up. I don't need the address, right?
I pull up. It's in my mental now. I know where to go to. But yeah, Cam, man, that's Kingdom Advancement Ministry. Y'all tune in on the social platforms and stuff too. Kingdom Advancement Ministry. I had to shout that out.
Yeah.
So, like, you don't think that's kind of like one of the hardest parts? Like, with the personality, like, think about it that like a teacher, you know, so you a teacher as well. So, like, you know, you might got some student they learn from listening. Some students that learn from being active. Other students ain't learning. Like, you know, that ain't one of like the hardest things though.
It is. That's where you got to have that different type of leadership styles, where you can master how to and you can let's bring that back to the house, right? Let's bring that back home first, because I think my first place to teach is at home. So when I think about it, and you've heard me say this several times, each of my children have their own different personalities, right? But they're unique to who I am and to who they are. And while sometimes those personalities, I'm thinking of one of my children, like right off the top. I can't call no names, but I'm thinking like I'm thinking about two of them, like right off the top. They are radical, right? Like off to the left. But every time I'm talking to them, I'm learning something from them. So it's not always about me teaching; it's about me learning, right? And then when I'm learning, they're teaching, and it's vice versa. Yeah, but it is a challenge when you're dealing with, I even deal with that in the marketplace when you're trying to get results and lead people who got different personalities. How do you manage the person? How do you manage? Here's the deal: how do I manage the performance and not the personality? Right. So how do I manage to at that point in the marketplace? Now in the ministry, it's not performance based. Right, so we can't manage based on performance. I gotta address your personality, or I think God calls us. He uses us with our best personality. When he wanted some fish, he talked to the fisherman. He didn't go talk to a farmer. Right, the personality was built around, or our work life is built around our personality. So I don't think that we should alter it or try to change it, because there's more positivity in that than it is negativity. If that make any sense. Yeah.
So what's your biggest motivation as just being a pastor, bishop?
Yeah, man. Just to say a pastor. Just again.
Well, first of all, okay, let me go to that then. Because somebody asked me the other day.
It ain't no different.
It ain't?
No.
Okay, because somebody asked me the other day. Like, what
Bishop,
about Bishop? I said
Bishop oversees.
I said
oversees different churches. It's an office. He desired the office. That's it. And I struggled even with the office, right? I struggled to be. If you go back and have some conversation with your mother, who's been with me a long time, she's gonna tell you that was almost like I followed somebody's direction. Right? I was a part of an organization, and I followed somebody's direction, or I was under that umbrella. I struggled with it. Like I struggled with it for a long time. Did not want to, because it does come with it comes with a different anointing, a different mantle, and a different standard, right? And I don't think I was ready for the standard, right? I couldn't measure up to the standard. I'm just being honest about it. I'm a man and pastor, and just that's the difference.
You think he's just outside? You think like
don't start asking nothing off the prayer. It's just off the top. Let's stick to the script. When that Bible, did you come to Bible? You was that Bible study the other night? We talking about stick to the script.
This ain't
go off the script.
This ain't nothing crazy. You done made me forget.
Good.
No, I got it. You bet. Thank you, Jesus. No, I was just gonna say like so we were talking about like grabbing the youth, and not even just the youth, just people in general. I know you spoke on this platform and stuff like this, but what do you think about like going out in the communities and all that type of stuff? Like, you think that'll be something big too, like to draw people and stuff like that?
I think it's a part of the advancing of the gospel, the evangelism, is to go into the hedges and the highways. That is door knocking. That is taking the church outside of the walls. Let me be honest with you, man. Some people ain't gonna ever come in our walls. Never. They never gonna come with not any walls of a church, right? But it does not mean they can't connect to the church. And I think us as the church, or we as the church, have just been concerned about our four walls. Now, here's the deal. There has been a major shift in how we minister and how we do ministry. And that's globally, where there is more outreaching. The problem for me is I want to in-reach first. I want to build within so that that's what Jesus did. Disciples are followers of Christ. They are able to go out. They are the voice, the hands, and the feet of Christ. So yeah, we should be going outside, doing more community initiatives and community connecting. And just in our day to day, how we carry ourselves. That's a big tool of evangelism, right? How I carry myself every day, right? People look at that and say, well, if they go to church, I don't want to be a part. Man, you ever seen a preacher like people you know preachers? We won't call no name. Cause now I want to. Now I want to. I got 3. Okay, he said they like it. They count down now. Look at that. Count down 1, 2, 3, 4. They don't want to talk about that. Okay, but you're missing where you go to people and they at the church and then they see you in the marketplace. They act like they don't know you. Yeah, ineffective witnessing. That's evangelism. That's evangelism. Christian to Christian, church to church. That's evangelism. I can't preach about Christ on Sunday and then don't speak to you on Monday. Mm-hmm. And I know I saw you. I just tried to act like I didn't see you just to keep from speaking to you. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're in it all like what does Cam mean to you, man?
Man, that's my baby. I've watched. That's birthed from my loins. Nobody handed that to me. Nobody. It wasn't even birthed out of, most ministries are birthed out of anger, frustration, mad, got upset because you couldn't have your way. Cam was not birthed out of that. Cam was birthed out of a heart and God speaking to me. And I knew it was the time because everything fell right in place. Now, it's been challenged as you grow it, right? Mm-hmm. But the rewards of it right now has been amazing. Like it is my life. Like it is my life. Dollar General, while they may think they were number one, mm-hmm. the priority is really Cam and what God is doing and what God is going to do within that ministry. Yeah.
You gonna leave it to me?
Yeah. Okay.
Nah.
Hey.
Oh. I'll be messing
there we go. No. There we go.
I'll be messing up, man.
Yes, sir.
What you say? What y'all say, man?
Hey, he done already said it, and y'all heard him. And please make sure that I get a copy of this podcast to put in the archives at Kingdom Advancement Ministries.
Yeah,
you want me to pass the baton now? That's the other thing. Let's conclude with this, because most times leaders don't know when to pass the baton. Mm-hmm. We pass it too late. The church dead, and now you passing it on to somebody, right?
We're gonna wait though. Any encouraging word? I tried to cloud it. We're gonna wait on that.
No, man. I want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm humble to be a part of this. Thank you for allowing me to sit down with you and be able to be truthful and transparent. And I encourage you, you preached an amazing service on Sunday, and you said identifying the distractions. And I just want to say to you, they gonna come at every level. I want to say what I said. I want you to either see is this a distraction, or I want you to ask yourself, is this a divine interruption? Because if it's a divine interruption, that means something greater is going to come on the other side of it. If it's a distraction, that means I can just stop it, move it, shift it. So I want to encourage you, man. Don't. You hear my voice. Don't let nothing stop you from advancing this platform and being able to reach my son, his friends, because they talk.
Oh, yeah.
And I guarantee you he's already shared with some of his friends and waiting, right? So I hats off to you, man. And I want you to continue to doing what you're doing.
I will. It's crazy. We got this right here.
There we go. I know what I'm doing. This the same globe that God told me to pull out one day. I was in my office and He told me to pull it.
That's the one.
This the one.
I know.
This the one. He said, I'm putting all this in your hand. Now, when we think about this, I'm going across all the country. No. But what he is putting in my hand is a part of this world. Mm-hmm. And it is the whole world to the part he's putting in my hand. Yeah.
I'm liking that.
Yeah.
Man, I really appreciate you, man, for taking the time to sit and chat with me. Yes, hopefully somebody gonna get something out of it.
I hope so.
I know they will.
I hope I wasn't too raw.
No, man. I think that's what the people need to see, man. More pastors, like the transparency, man. I think it is people out there like me that really respect that, and that what draw people. You know, the realness of people, man. So I like to end everything with a scripture. My scripture today will be Jeremiah 3 out of the easy read, and it's Jeremiah 3:15, and it says, "I will give you leaders who will serve me faithfully. They will take care of you like shepherds. They will be wise, and they will lead you well." And anything else?
No, sir. Again, thank you for having me on this amazing show.
Thank you for coming. TizzleTalkTV, come talk with me, man. Hey, say, ain't no day like another day. Come in, it's your boy Tizzle. Talk to me.